So I have a secret that new old YouTubers, when I say old, I'm talking my age, over the age of 60, need to know. And it has to do with technology. So the knock on us as old people is we don't understand technology. We can't figure it out. It's too advanced for us, makes us nervous. You know, all these stereotypes that just are not true. And if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, but the daunting task of setting up the technology is holding you back, well, I'd suggest that you just forget about that and go do it. That's not really the secret. The secret I have for you right now is I'm recording this on an iPhone 7. Here is my iPhone 10, which is where I usually record my videos. But here's the problem. My iPhone 10 is running out of storage. Believe it or not, it's a 64 gig. I bought it in 2019. It served me very, very well up till now. But I can't record too many videos because if I'm recording a long form video at 4K, 30 frames per second, I'm sucking up memory like there's no tomorrow. So what does that mean? It means I'll probably have to knock it down to 1080, and then YouTube will share that with anybody that has at least 1080. My understanding is that if it's not recorded in 4K, anybody that has 4K would probably see it in 1080. I don't know what that means. I sounded pretty good saying it though. So here's the secret. Don't let technology stop you. Don't let the fear of what you don't have slow you down from sharing with the world your experience. Because I want to hear your experiences. They're going to be vastly different from mine. And I want to know. I want to know how you got to where you are in life. What's your family like? Did you retire at age 62? Did you take Social Security at age 62? Tell me about the struggles that you're going through, because that's why I'm here. I'm pretty transparent. I share with you what's happening in my world, the decisions I've made to take Social Security at 62, and retirement wasn't on my radar screen. I was forced into it because I couldn't find another job. But that's why I want to hear from you. So if this resonates and you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, but you're so wigged out because there's so much technology that seems to be overwhelming, here's what happens to me is I watch more YouTube than I do regular TV. And the reason is I think regular TV is full of garbage, as we say in France. And I don't want to waste my time doing that. I'd rather search on YouTube for topics that interest me and people who interest me that will teach me. And I know I've shared this with you in a previous video, my YouTube journey. I started thinking about it well over a year ago. I'm not, I've seen some new YouTubers who have said, well, it took me this amount of time to write a script and this amount of time to buy the right equipment, so forth and so on. And, you know, I basically just jumped right in. Did a video. My first video was coming off a 72-hour fast, which, as a matter of fact, I'm doing as we speak right now. Let's see, I started Monday night at 8 p.m. Let me tell you how it started. This is a funny story. So a group of us from our church got together at a friend's house to watch a video on Is God Done With You Yet? And it reminds me of what my friend Old Mike says. If you ain't dead, you ain't done. So the subject of the video is, for us older people, if you're still living, God wants you to do something. All right. The reason I tell you that is because I'm standing there with a couple of my buddies, and the host had all kinds of snacks out. And of course, we're gnawing on chocolate chip cookies and brownies and chips and salsa and all the good stuff, you know, the stuff that your doctor wants you to eat a lot of. And we got into talking about exercise and so forth. And one of my buddies, who's an ex-Navy guy, says, well, I plank for 4.5 hours a day. I'm like, 4.5, whoo, 4.5 minutes a day, which is still very impressive. But it got us again talking about health and so forth. And I told him that I had done a 72-hour fast not that long ago, sometimes in the middle of January. And I made a decision right there. I didn't mention it to anybody. I mentioned it to my wife on the way home. I said, I'm starting a fast. And the reason I wanted to do that, I just felt like crap. You know, I was eating all the wrong things. It just wasn't feeling good. You know, I see myself on camera like, yikes, you got to do something about that. Too much loose stuff hanging around. And that's all from the cookies I eat late at night. And I'll stand in front of half a box of Cheez-Its, elbow deep, wondering what I'm going to eat when this is done. And I can't continue that. So all of that is what's going on. That's what happens in my life, and I have no problem sharing that with you because I know that some of you who are watching this are probably the exact same way, but you don't want anybody to know. And the last thing you want to do is put yourself on camera and talk like that. But I want you to do that. The world wants you to do that. Who cares what your kids think? Who cares what your friends think? Matter of fact, don't ever tell your friends and your family that you're doing this. I've told one person. And that person, I promised them I'd send a link to my channel, and I haven't done it yet. Just no need to. You're my audience. You're my folks. So, again, start your own YouTube journey. Don't worry about the equipment. This is on an iPhone 7. It's got 32 gigs of storage. And what I did is I blew out all the apps and the things that I don't need to make sure that I'll have more than enough space to record a video without it stopping in the middle, which it did to me just recently. And sometimes when you're walking and you can't really see what you might be able to see on this side, you'll miss the notification right in the middle of your recording that says your memory is full. You cannot record anymore because you're so focused on what you're saying. You go back to review what you just recorded and there's nothing there because you ran out of memory. Don't let that happen to you. So, iPhone 7, 32 gigs. I just showed you my iPhone 10, which is what I'm usually recording on. And so I've had this iPhone in my drawer for 5 years. And I'm an old guy. And you're an old guy. And you can't throw things away. I know you. You just can't do it. Because you know why? Someday we might need that. Well, lo and behold, the day came and I needed it. And I started to think, well, can I use, instead of having a camera, because there's a lot of YouTubers out there that have a separate camera and they record on the camera. And they always have their iPhone with them. They're not always recording on an iPhone. They're recording on some fancy camera. Well, I made a commitment to myself and to my finances that this YouTube journey is not going to cost me a lot of money. So as I said in a previous video, I bought a wireless mic. I bought this handheld tripod. I think all for less than 50 bucks. I already had the camera. I didn't need anything else. There's no cost to get on YouTube. And I figured if I can do it for 50 bucks, I'll do it. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm also recycling. As I said, I'm using the iPhone 7. So drop me a comment if this resonates with you, because I know who you are. You're the type of person that says, I really don't want to spend any money on this because what if it doesn't work? What if I don't like it? Yeah, I'm the same way. And if it doesn't work, that's okay. I don't know. What's the definition of what works? Subscribers, likes, views? I don't know. I do have a plan. My plan is to keep at it. I just watched a video before coming out here to record on how to trick the algorithm. There's no such thing. It's an algorithm. You can't trick it. It is smarter than you and I. Now, how much of AI is involved in the algorithm? I don't know. But I know that I'm not going to outsmart it. But what I am going to do and continue to do is hopefully put up decent content, mess around with some thumbnails that might get some attention, and just see what their reaction is. And I've gotten plenty of comments, and I thank every one of you who have commented that you appreciate what you're seeing here. Because I think you well know, it's kind of like when we were very, very young in middle school, and we might have had a crush on a certain guy or girl, and you don't want to tell anybody, because what happens if they don't like you? You're going to have that same feeling, trust me. You're going to post a couple of videos and you're going to wait to see who likes you. Who cares who likes you? I love the fact that people are responding. And I'm telling you right now, they're generous, loving comments that inspire me, to do different things. And so I want to hear from you as well if there's something that you'd like to talk about or like me to talk about, not necessarily on your behalf because I don't know you, even though we're walking together quietly here by ourselves near the lake. If you say, can you dive into this subject a little bit more? I'd love to. My background is finance, investments, financial planning, specifically for retirees. I've got close to 30 years of doing that. Thank the Lord, I'm out of that business. But I know the ins and outs of that business. I know the ins and outs of the people who are running that type of business. And you don't. You know your business. So I'm going to plan to do a series of videos. I've already done a few on what to look out for when you're interviewing a financial advisor. What questions to ask? What discovery documents do you need so that you feel comfortable with the person you're handing your money over to? It's important, and I'll continue to do that. But if that's something you're just like, nah, Popsy guy, I'm so not interested in that stuff, let me know. That'll have an impact on what I do. And I'll tell you the other secret. I know I started off with a secret. Here's the other secret. If you're anything like me and you're excited about doing this, you'll lay in bed at night thinking up things like, oh, what if I do this? Oh, what if I do this? Write it down. And the reason you think you're going to remember in the morning is because you think you're going to remember in the morning. You won't. It happened to me just the other day. I had a thought about the content of a video. It was the video where I forgot to turn the audio on. I made a big mistake. Well, I wrote a note in my iPhone because it's near my bed. I listen to background music when I'm sleeping. And I'm laying in bed thinking, about the next video I wanted to do. And this idea popped in my head about making a mistake of not having your video or your audio connected. So I wrote it in the notes on my iPhone and thought, okay, I'll remember exactly what that is. And I wrote it not in shorthand, but just a kind of a cryptic note that I was 100% sure I'd know what it meant when I opened it up. I spent 3 hours the next day trying to remember, what did I want to talk about? I see this note, and all the note said is, don't make this mistake. But at the time I came up with the idea, it was just bouncing around in my head, and I knew I would never forget. So that's tip number 2, write it down. Tip number 1, don't be afraid of the technology. If this video looks good to you and I didn't tell you it was on an iPhone 7, you wouldn't know. I don't think there's a huge difference. There could be, but I'm certainly not in a position to go out and spend $1,500 on an iPhone, what is it, the 16 with the potential for AI. I don't need it. I have this. And if this doesn't work, guess what? I still have this. And if that doesn't work, well, that's the good Lord saying, give it up, Popsy guy. This YouTube thing ain't for you. But I'll wait. I'll wait to see how it all goes down. So once again, thank you very much. That is the secret that I wanted to share with you. You can use an iPhone 7 to record, and you don't have to wait, and you don't have to have the best technology. You don't have to have a home studio. You don't have to have anything like that to start your own YouTube channel and bless the world with your experience and your knowledge. Because I know, for one, that I'll watch when I hear from you. So you have a blessed day, and until we see each other again, this is Popsy Guy signing off.